Jordan Badgeron here with UL-Monroe.com. We're joined alongside head softball coach Corey Lyon. Coach, let's get back. You guys, the last 22 games, 22 road games, kind of went 10-12 in those 22 games. How does it feel to finally be back home, and how much of a factor did fatigue play in some of those games?
Well, I think being home is great, and even the idea of getting to play one home game tomorrow. I mean, I think it will really boost the spirits of the girls. Going into it, when we set the schedule up, we knew there was going to be 3 weekends in a row on the road. But I think we were really looking forward after the Alabama series to getting home, starting conference, and then all of a sudden, the weather hits, and on Thursday you're deciding to get on a bus and go 15 hours to be able to play games. And I think travel-wise, it just we left at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday and got there at midnight. Played 2 games on Saturday. Got up to play Sunday. Had a 3-hour rain delay, and I think we just kind of hit the wall. And then we come back. We get back at 5 in the morning on Monday. Then we come back and high energy, high enthusiasm, nationally televised game against Ole Miss, and we literally lead the entire game until the very end. And I think it just kind of took the wind out of our sails a little bit. And as resilient as this team has been, I think that what we saw this past weekend when we went to South Alabama was really kind of a hangover from that. And so, I'm hoping that now that we're home, we've had a little bit of time to catch our breath, and I'm hoping that we can really come out and play well tomorrow night, and then try to ride that momentum into next week or the next weekend, and then we can get back home for a couple home series. So I think that the fatigue definitely played a part. You'd love to say that it doesn't, but I think when you play 22 games in a row on the road, I mean, it is what it is. And I think that that's part of our inconsistency, and playing some very good games against very good teams, but at the same time then giving away a couple of games that really we felt like we could have, should have, would have won.
Now, going back to that last game at App State, you guys are on a 5-game skid. During that 5-game skid, you guys have a very low success rate with runners in scoring position. What do you think has to change at the plate for that to turn around?
Well, we just need to relax and kind of let it happen. It's one of those things that the kids know that. I mean, they know that we're having a hard time with runners in scoring position, and I think that they're just pressing, and you start to press, and then the next person starts to press, and really we're just, honestly, I believe we're one game away from just kind of breaking out and everything going back to normal. But until that happens, you got to ride it out. You got to keep grinding every day, and I think the girls just need to relax and kind of let their skill take over and just do what they've been doing for much of their lives. So I'm hoping that like I said, I'm hoping that we see some good things tomorrow night and maybe get us back on track.
Now, the last 5 games, you have 5 different starting lineups. The only thing remaining constant is Rochelle at the top of the lineup. What are you kind of looking for whenever you construct the lineup?
Well, we're just trying to get things started. We're trying to jumpstart some things and trying to make some things happen. Rochelle has been great in the leadoff spot. Faith has been really, Faith has been good in the 2-3, hole pretty much the entire season, maybe 1 or 2 games in the 4-hole. And, we're trying to keep the speed at the top. We're trying to just, be able to put runners on and make things happen and use what we do well. But constructed around that is, sometimes depending on pitching matchups. Saw a rise ball pitcher on Sunday that, had a hard time fielding. She's not a great fielder, has a hard time throwing the ball to first base, so we loaded up with our short game people to try to maybe take advantage of that, just trying to make something happen. And I think that while the lineup's been maybe shuffled around a little bit, much of the starters remain constant. It's just a matter of trying to find that right mix that's going to really kind of get us going again.
Yeah, let's talk about Mel a little bit. Obviously, the ace of the staff. She's second in the Sun Belt in innings pitched behind Randy Rupp. During the skid, she's kind of been two-sided. You've seen signs of brilliance in her second game against Alabama, and then this past weekend she kind of got roughed up a little bit. May have been fatigued, but What do you think we have to see out of Mel for her to be more consistent?
Well, I think with Mel, it's all about being able to command the strike zone. And when Mel commands the strike zone, she's really, really good. And in any of the games that she's struggled, you can go back through the stats, and that's what you see. Getting behind hitters, and that's where she struggled this past weekend at South Al. She just got behind too many hitters, and no matter whether you're a great pitcher or not, when you're pitching from behind, it's hard to do. No different than being it's hard to be a really good hitter if you're always hitting in an 0-2 count. And I think that's just, she's got to get back to commanding the zone consistently, trusting her pitches, trusting what's going on. And once she does that, like I said, I mean, she has shown that she can be one of the top pitchers in our conference. And I have no doubt in my mind that she's going to rebound. And I think probably, I'm expecting her to have a great weekend. And hopefully we can go down to Texas State and win a series.
Now, before Texas State, you guys have Northwestern State tomorrow. Let's get into that game a little bit. They should present a great challenge. They're the preseason favorite in the Southland Conference, and similarly to you guys, they have a big threat at the top of the lineup in Kelly Kincannon. She leads the team in RBIs, batting average, and home runs. So what do you do to kind of contain her and try to pull out the win tomorrow?
Well, the biggest thing is we're going to have to get everybody out around her. You try to get everybody out around her so that, you can minimize anything that she can do. And so, if she's getting hits and if she's getting on base, as long as nobody else is getting on base, then we can minimize the damage and then we just don't let her beat us. They're a great team. They're very well coached. Coach Piggy does a good job. They've got big wins this year already over Oklahoma State, and they've played very well here early. And they've got a good pitching staff. They're pretty deep. They return 2 or 3 of their pitchers from last year. And so they're going to be a great opponent. And that's one thing. Our schedule has been really good. We've played a very tough schedule, but we've also done that for a reason. And I think that as we move forward, as we get towards the end of the year, I think it's going to help us in the long run. And so right now, hey, we just got to find a way to win a game.
All right, fans, for all your latest updates, follow us at UL-Warhawks.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.